Becky and Jason here, being joined by our good friend Chuck Renes from Renes Greenhouse as we find out whether or not it is going to be a great day to grow it. And Chuck, busy season for people getting decorated like you decorated our set.
It certainly is. The funny thing is, it feels like we ought to be talking about planting tomatoes in the garden today and stuff. So, but one thing I did want to kind of point out real quick, like about decorating and stuff, if we get a shot of the poinsettias down
I was going to say, I think Chuck wants to.
You can see there's 3 poinsettias there, and I'm sure each one of the crew members or each one of the cast here takes care of one. And that one there would be Jason's, that big red one there. And then the speckled one there is Lou's.
Yeah.
And then the one right next to that would be Jackie's right there. So, you guys always think I'm just kidding you about Jackie, but I'm telling you, it's a situation, man. But that's one of the reasons. And he was saying, you know, that they water them. You know, I've got 2 poinsettias that I took home at Thanksgiving, and I've never watered them. And they're just absolutely fine. As a matter of fact, I just checked them a night or two ago, and they just don't need watered yet. But, you know, people ask, how much should I water my poinsettias? Well, everything is different. Some of these obviously dry out pretty quickly.
We have a little more harsh lighting and things like that.
With the environment here at my house, you know, it's a little cooler and not the lighting and stuff. So it's just different for everybody. But they prefer to be a little dry, as opposed to too wet. But that may be a little too dry.
Well, something I haven't destroyed yet that is a Christmas tree I was able to get from Renes Greenhouse, and it is absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely perfect. I gave you what
she got it yesterday.
Okay, so far so good, right, Chuck?
Way to go, Jackie.
It's not dead yet, but I tell you what, I gave you kind of what my limitations were for living in a smaller space, and you found me the absolute perfect tree, and it's absolutely beautiful.
That is beautiful, and you got it decorated up there great, and yeah, that looks good.
Is there a rule of thumb of how big of a tree you need to get for a certain area, Chuck, or not?
You know, everybody, you know, out at our greenhouse, we sell, a lot of people out there have the vaulted ceilings and you know, 18, 20-foot ceilings. We sell a ton of trees 12, 14 foot tall. And so it's just, you know, whatever is you know, fits in your house. And that's perfect size for your place.
Perfect size, so thank you.
So it just depends on what you got.
But besides that, a beautiful tree. A lot of times when you see the smaller ones, they get kind of,
yes,
you know, not the most full things you've ever seen in your life. And this is an absolutely beautiful tree.
And again, we put a fresh cut on it for you and send it home with you. So just be sure that tree never runs. The trick to keeping your tree nice, we always put a fresh cut on them when you go home. Put it in water and never let that thing run out of water. If it ever runs out of water, that stump will sap over, and then it won't draw water up. So you want to never let that run out of water.
So if it does run out of water, do you have to remove it and then try to cut it again, or what's the deal then?
If you want it to soak up water and last you the full season, that's the only way to get it to take up water.
Because that's like a scab, isn't it?
Yep,
that's on there.
I mean, that's what it does. It's just like when you cut a tree and it saps over. It does that to protect the tree, and that's the same thing. It's just you know, that's why you put that fresh cut on there, and once that seals off, then it's sealed off. But a tree, and you'll be surprised if you watered that good yesterday. When you go home tonight, you'll need to water it again, because when you first put that in there, it really draws a lot of water.
I was gonna say, I already noticed, because I filled it to the brim and I was like, it's already gone.
Yeah, it drinks a lot of water in the beginning. And Fraser firs, if you have a Fraser fir, which is all we sell and pretty much all anybody wants anymore, those will last you the season very easily if you take care of them.
Does it matter if you use cool or warm water?
Well, I always like to use warm water, and I really don't know why that is. I just made that up somewhere along the line. Use warm water and it works good. But
I've heard that before as well.
Yeah, I think it just kind of keeps that sap a little looser and stuff. And
maybe if it's starting to get a little crystallized, it'll dissolve.
Yeah, it kind of dissolve it a little bit or what have you. But you know, people ask us. You know, I've heard of aspirin, 7-Up, everything, you know, to put in your water and stuff. And I always just figure, you know, out in the forest it has water, so I think water's sufficient.
But you've been selling tons of poinsettias, trees, and we're winding up the season, but you do still have a couple things left over.
Yeah, we still have a little bit of stuff left. The you know, the porch pots and stuff like that are gone. I mean, we still have a lot of mixed greens we can get you fixed up with, but the porch pot, this is, for us, this is the hardest thing to judge of how much roping and greenery we're going to use, because when you have a winter like this, it's stretched out. People are still wanting to do that decorating. On an average winter, it'd be 20 below by now, and the wind would be blowing, and people wouldn't be out.
Right.
You know, a lot of those pots would be froze up by now, and you couldn't poke stuff in them. But people are still doing that, and we still got some greens and stuff, and we're getting down on stuff. It's been a really good poinsettia season, and it's. I tell you, for me, the best part about this weather is, you know, we deliver a ton of churches, and it's certainly a lot nicer to deliver those churches when it's 50 degrees than when it's 20 degrees and the wind's blowing 100
them as much
miles.
too.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
All right,
absolutely.
so just as a rule of thumb, when it comes to poinsettias, how often should you water them?
Well, again, you know, everything is different. When I water mine at home, you know, the best way to tell on a poinsettia is if you pick it up and it's heavy, then it doesn't need watered. But if you pick it up and it's really light,
If you can swing it a little bit.
you can tell. You'll be able to tell if it needs watered. And the way I water mine at home, last year I watered them every week. You know, just pick a day, Saturday night, and I would take that thing, I would take it out of the pot cover, set it in the kitchen sink, and just water it so that water ran all the way through.
Sure.
And then let it set in there all night, and in the morning put it back in the pot cover, put it on your coffee table.
What if you have a bunch of them like this?
Yeah, you just got to kind of feel them and see and go from there. They will, you know, they'll tell you when they start to droop a little bit. They need watered good.
Now, if they start drooping, are they savable?
Well, when they start drooping, yes, absolutely. When they get too droopy.
Okay, when the leaves turn colors?
When the leaves start turning and falling off, then it's pretty much a lost cause.
Oh,
The whole
thanks,
thing
yeah.
or just those
Let's go
leaves?
back
The
to
whole
mine.
thing.
Thank you very much.
The whole
The
thing.
whole thing?
Yeah,
So is that a lost cause there?
Yeah, that one there cannot be, I mean, that's not going to be able to be fixed.
Really?
You can do anything you want with that, but that's we'll bring a new one in and put there, and that'll be fine, but that's not going to do anything.
So you
but
need to
make
stay on top
compost.
of it. You
Stay
really
on
do.
top of it,
Okay.
yep. So.
All right, before we let you go, ran across something last night, Chuck, that we saw on Huffington Post. Posted a video, and there's a couple of guys that did something very novel. If you go to the surface area, Eric, look what these guys did. They did something very novel. They ate a Carolina Reaper pepper.
Yep.
How
There you
novel is
go.
that? And it's just starting to get legs last night over on Huffington Post. So we did post something saying, you know what? We did that months ago. Chuck Renes grew them, and we ate them on the air.
There you go. And you know, I had 2 of those out in my back garden. And I mean, you know, those things aren't very big. But I'm telling you, on those 2 plants, when they finally froze, there was literally hundreds of those peppers on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
because the leaves fell off, you could see them.
You could see them, and I mean, and they got about 4 foot tall, and I was going to try to save them, but the problem with them is nobody wants them because they're too.
too hot.
They're too hot. To eat. Yeah, and there's nothing people can. People don't even want to touch them because they're so hot. And
But I thought of you when we had that, so we posted that in case anybody
Yeah,
wants
You
to
should have
take a
crushed
look
them
at
and
it.
made your own rabbit spray, like that
Yeah,
stuff
there you go. Yeah.
Self-defense spray.
Yeah.
we can make.
But they was interesting, and and I had mentioned last year too, and I was unable to get them, but this will be our project for next year. But they have a new strawberry out that it's white, and it tastes like pineapple.
Oh, we have to try that.
It's called a pineapple strawberry. And last year when I seen them, I ordered some plants, but it was a little late and I wasn't able to get them. So I got some of those ordered for this year.
Good.
And but those will be.
So that'll be our project this year.
So we'll see. Those won't hurt us. I mean,
From
we
spicy
like
to
pineapple, and
sweet.
those
But we
can't
want
hurt
to
you,
remind
so.
everybody, if you like a sweet holiday season and you want to get some beautiful, beautiful plants, trees, head over to Renes Greenhouse because you guys are just around for a couple more weeks.
Yep, we're here for a couple more weeks, and then we're going to go someplace warm for a little while. Then we'll be getting back into spring. But come out and see us. We're out there between Camp Dodge and the Walmart and Grimes. So come out and see us. We're there every day now.
Beautiful.